Feels like forever since I've done this kind of a video. It's so weird being like back in this setup. Anyway, what's up guys? Hello and welcome to this week's video. I am back with another cosplay story time because it's been a little while since I've done one of these, and over on Instagram I decided to ask what you guys would rather see this week between my Fan Expo Day 2 vlog or another cosplay story time video, and an overwhelming number of people asked to see a cosplay story time video. So here we are. Today I'm going to be sharing some stories from my time at Fan Expo. Honestly, Fan Expo this year was an amazing experience and seriously saved con going for me, because the last year of con going, I wouldn't say that my con experiences have been bad, but they just weren't what they used to be, and I was actually considering maybe taking a step back from con going and cosplaying and stuff like that, but this convention totally saved convention going for me, and I have a lot of cool experiences to share from it, so that's what we're going to be doing today. This is kind of like a bunch of little cosplay story times rolled into one video, because all of these separate stories are too short to make a full video on, so I thought it would be cool to just do a compilation kind of under the same theme. So as you can tell from the title, this video is going to be talking about some of the cool interactions that I had while I was cosplaying Tracer. So this was my third convention wearing my Tracer cosplay, and I actually really can't get over how much it's improved gradually each time that I've worn it. This is definitely the best that it's looked. It looks like so much better than the first time that I wore it. I felt really confident, and it was just a really lovely day, so I'm excited to share some of my stories from that day with you guys. So this first story happened while I was walking around the vendor's hall with my friend Evelina. So this very tall and very sweet gentleman asked me for a photo. He was so nice. He's like, oh, I really like your Tracer cosplay. You did such great work on it. And it was really sweet. So he takes my photo, and then he asks me who I main, and I say, of course, Tracer, and I can like actually confidently say that now because I actually own Overwatch for myself, so that's good. So I tell him Tracer, and he's like, oh, awesome, like that makes sense. I myself prefer Winston. And then he starts talking in the most perfect Winston voice, like spot on. He's saying his voice lines, he's like interacting with me like in Winston's voice, and it was just really cool, and I was just like super excited. So he's like saying his voice lines, and Evelina and I are both just like in awe of like how great and unexpected this Winston impression was. It's also really cool because Winston and Tracer are good buddies, so like it was cool to like play off of each other a little bit that way, but like mostly it was just me like staring in awe of this guy's like spot on Winston impression. So I'm like, oh my goodness, that was really good. And then like in the Winston voice he's like, oh well, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. It was just such a nice, unexpected, wonderful moment, and I don't know, it's just those kind of like cool fandom connection moments that I really enjoy. And this guy was like really sweet and like really fun to talk to, and just like really, you could tell, like kind-spirited and everything. That was definitely an experience that stuck with me. My second story from that day took place around where all the panel rooms were. There's this series of hallways that you go around to get to all of your panel rooms, and so I was waiting in this corner for one of my friends, and I see this mother and her two very young kids. I want to say like the daughter was a little bit older. She was probably about like 9 or 10, and then the son was probably like 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there. I'm really bad at pegging ages, but like they were young kids, but the sister was a little bit older, and they were both in cosplays that you can tell they had like worked really hard on themselves. I see the daughter talking to the mom, and they're looking at me, and then they're like talking to each other, and then the mom looks to her daughter, and they like kind of both nod at each other. And so then the daughter comes up. You can tell that she was shy and nervous, but she was also very like eloquent, and she still had this very kind of like maturity to her in how she was approaching me, but you can tell that she was nervous to ask this question and that she wasn't sure if I would say yes or no. So she comes up to me and she says, oh, excuse me, we really like your cosplay. Would it be possible for us to all get a photo together? And she's kind of waiting, you can tell, to see if I'm gonna say yes or no, and I'm like, absolutely, like I'm totally cool with that. And she's like, oh, you know, she's really excited, and you can tell really relieved. So she motions to her brother to come over, and I stand between the two of them, and her mom takes our photo, and then the girl turns to me and she's like, oh, thank you so much for letting us take a photo with you. We really like your cosplay. And I'm like, oh, thanks so much, I really like yours too. And you could tell that like she was really excited by that, and it was just a really awesome moment. I really love doing that. I really love taking photos with kids and like seeing them be happy to, you know, get photos with characters that they like. The two of them, you could tell that they worked really hard on their costumes. It was a really sweet moment, so I wanted to share that with you guys. And she was so sweet and so polite, and just it was And it made me really happy. So this third story also took place in the vendor's hall. Again, I was walking around with Evelina, and this mother and father see me from a distance. I kind of see them talking to each other, nodding to one another, and then coming over. So the father approaches me and he says, "Oh, would it be okay if I get a photo? My daughter really loves this character, but unfortunately she wasn't able to make it here today, and I think she'd really love to like see a photo of you." And I'm just like so taken aback by that. So of course I agree, and I do like the best pose that I can. He takes the photo and he's like, "Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Like, she's gonna be so happy to see this. Like, she really loves this character." And I'm just like, you don't usually expect that, right? That really like touched my heart. So he takes the photo, and then he and his wife turn to leave, and they're walking away. They're like excitedly like looking over their shoulder back at me, and then like looking at their photo, and I can hear him as they're walking away being like, "Oh man, she's gonna be so excited when she sees this. I'm so excited to show this to her." And I just, it's just, I can't even explain. It was just like such a lovely thing, and I really hope that she liked seeing the photo, and it's awesome because like I really love Tracer, and I know how important her character is to me, and so the idea that like someone else feels the same way about the same character and like I can share that with them. I'm cosplaying Tracer because I really like her character, and like that makes me happy, and then the idea that like I can make someone else happy by cosplaying her, and like, you know, their daughter seeing that photo and like, you know, making her happy because she likes the character too. It's hard to explain, but it was just, that's like so much what cosplay is about to me, and so that was just a really awesome experience that just really touched my heart. So I really hope that she liked the photo, and the parents were so sweet when they were taking the photo. I can't even tell you. It was so lovely. It was so lovely. So really wanted to share that story with you guys. Fourth story from that day, I definitely saved the best for last. This was the craziest interaction. This one left me the most speechless. So let's just get straight into it. So this again happened in that hallway, that series of hallways where the panel rooms are, and I was with Evelina again, and we were trying to meet up with the rest of our group. So it's kind of like this maze of hallways, and it's quite congested because the hallways are really narrow. So we're trying to maneuver our way through this like maze of hallways to find our friends, and we're about to go through this one very narrow hallway, and we see this crowd of people walking towards us. It's this big line of people that is going towards one of the panel rooms because the panel is about to start. We realize that it's a really bad idea for us to try and make our way like, you know, against this big flood of people, so we stand against the wall next to this hallway and wait for them to all file by before we then continue through this hallway. The thing about where we were standing is that it was right next to this little corner. It's hard to explain, but there's basically like this corner, so anybody who was coming towards you, you wouldn't see them until they came around this corner and they were right in front of you. This is important to the story. So we're just standing there, we're waiting for everybody to file out, and eventually it gets to the end of this lineup of people. And at the end of this lineup of people is Charlotte Chung, who is the voice actress for D.Va. And like, I'm in shock because I don't expect to like be, you know, face to face with D.Va's voice actress in the middle of this hallway at the end of this huge lineup of people. And it turned out that lineup of people was for her Q&A panel. So like, she's just there in front of me. I know she's right in front of me. I can't quite believe it, really, so my mind is kind of like going back and forth, like, I can't believe this, like, is this actually really happening? It's like, no, like, this is happening, like, she's right in front of you. So it's like going back and forth. So before I can say anything or kind of like, you know, center my mind and like accept the fact that like this super cool person is like right in front of me, she sees me, her face lights up, she gets genuinely excited, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, hi!" And I'm just like, you know, full on adrenaline at this point. And I'm like, "Hi!" So it's like we know each other. And then she's like, oh, she's so wonderful. She's like, "Cheers, love," before she continues to walk into her panel. And like my adrenaline is like going full blast. I'm like frozen, and Evelina's next to me, and like Evelina is a huge D.Va fan. She didn't realize who it was until she said Tracer's voice line. And so we're both like frozen in that spot, and we just turn to each other and we're like, and it was a really great moment. It was a really great moment. It was totally unexpected, and what I just really love is that like she's such a cool, genuine person, and the fact that she was like genuinely excited to see my cosplay, which is really flattering and really awesome, because like how many Overwatch cosplayers has she seen in her lifetime? How many Tracers has she seen in her lifetime? She's probably seen so many, but like even so, she was still genuinely excited when she saw me and like said hi to me. We had like mutual fangirling over Overwatch basically. Like she was like kind of like fangirling over my cosplay, I guess, and I was like fangirling over her because she's great. So basically, the moral of the story is you could tell through social media that all of the Overwatch voice actors are like super cool, super lovely, and super like into the fandom. They're super cool people, and all of that is 100% true. Bless her soul, she's so awesome. So that was my experience cosplaying Tracer and coming face to face with D.Va's voice actress, who is a lovely, lovely human being. And yeah, anyway, those are a few highlights from the con. Obviously, there were a lot of other things that happened. I didn't want to cram too much into this video, and you guys will be hearing about some of those experiences in my Saturday vlog from Fan Expo, which will be the next video that I'm going to be putting out. So yeah, anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed those. Fan Expo was amazing, and all the things that I mentioned in this story, that wasn't even like the craziest thing that happened at that convention. Like so many amazing, cool things happened during that convention. It was really, really awesome. So anyway, that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. It's a little bit different of a cosplay story time since it's a bunch of stories in one, but I hope you guys enjoyed this format. And like I said, more vlogs from Fan Expo will be coming out, or if you're watching and those vlogs are already up, I'll have my Saturday one linked up there so you can check it out. And yeah, I also want to mention that I met a bunch of you during Fan Expo. I had 4 people who came up to me to say hi, and I wanted to give a shout out to all of you because you were all really lovely. I don't really ever expect people to like recognize me from YouTube or anything, so when people do, it's a big deal and it really makes my day. So thank you to everybody who came up and said hello, and I really appreciate you all, and I hope you guys all had a great con. And yeah, so anyway, as usual, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the stories in this video. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching, and I seriously, seriously appreciate it. I feel like I keep saying that in every single video, but like it's really, really true. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week whenever you're watching this, and yeah, I will see you guys all next time. Until then, Panda Faces, please be sure to take care. Bye.